Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to continue with our series of One Piece chapter leaks, and we're going to talk about the events taking place in Wano and the new Straw Hat bounties that'll be revealed in chapter 1053. Please keep in mind that these are just leaks and they may not be in the correct order, and we don't even have the complete information of what's going to be happening. But as the leaks are released, we're going to make sure we come back with another video to keep you informed on what's happening. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, we'd be absolutely honored if you consider leaving us a like or even subscribing and maybe a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing the video or the channel with a friend. Without further ado, let's get into these leaks. In these initial leaks on chapter 1053, we have a lot of interesting information about the new rewards that the pirates who participated in Wano will receive, and the surprising news of who will become a Yonko. So as we like to do in these leak videos, before commenting and expanding on everything that's going to go on, we're going to give a rundown of each topic in the leak, and then once we go over this overview, then we'll get into detail for each of these things that are going to be presented in 1053. So far we have four main topics, the first of which is that Luffy and Buggy are the new Yonko, not Kid and Law. Kid and Law now have the same bounty level. Buggy and Luffy has not been revealed what their bounties are, and the Country of Wano arc is not over yet. So with those four topics, let's now take each one in turn and go into detail about what it could mean and what it could be kind of forecasting or foreshadowing for future episodes and chapters. The first topic is really a little bit surprising. So we see that in the initial leak that Luffy and unexpectedly Buggy managed to become new Yonkos. Now we don't know exactly why they may have picked Buggy over Law and Kid, but it's really likely that the world government said that, maybe it was him who was responsible for defeating Big Mom. Because if the world knew that two Yonko were defeated by this new generation of pirates, it could cause some chaos in the world. So by kind of leaning on an older member and a more known pirate in the kind of world of One Piece, Buggy ends up getting the title of Yonko. And besides, as we saw, Kid and Law worked together to bring down Big Mom. Now, they really needed to. It was a team effort, and really one couldn't have done it without the other. But it really may be that very thing, that it took the two of them, and they weren't just credited for the fact of how absolutely powerful Big Mom is. But because Law and Kid did not defeat her individually, maybe that's why they didn't get the title of Yonko. And then with the math, because it took two allied pirates to beat Big Mom, and there can, at least as far as we know, only be four Yonko, there really wouldn't be any way that Law and Kid could get the title. But maybe there's going to be something in the future or in, kind of our next arc where we see that there's a little more competition so one of them can get their name on the board. But because they didn't have this choice, it ended up being somehow Buggy. He managed to steal the position. Now, we don't know if it's something because maybe he's been doing something since we've been in Wano, or maybe this is something planned by the world government. But now that he is a new Yonko, Buggy and his crew have earned a large bounty and have probably become one of the most wanted groups of pirates on the seas. And just like Luffy, he's gonna now have some major problems dealing with future enemies who are gonna want to go after his bounty and his Yonko title. But it's also not like Law and Kid are walking away empty-handed. I mean, there might have been the disadvantage about getting the Yonko job, but they're gonna get major bumps in their bounties. I mean, after all, even though it was a team effort, they did manage to defeat a Yonko. So they are gonna present a significant level of danger to the world government. And even though Law and Kid have not become Yonko, it's still quite likely that their bounties could be nearly as high as somebody like Luffy because of what they managed to accomplish on Onigashima. So now, our current roster of Yonko is Luffy, Buggy, Teach, and Shanks. Now, whether or not Law and Kid wanted the title, we know that with this bump, they're gonna get, kind of more notoriety. And also, we don't really know at this point whether Law or Kid really had the idea of becoming a Yonko in mind. We do know that they were once allied to go, after Shanks, but it may not be because they wanted the title of Shanks, they just wanted to take out somebody who was strong. So this may, at the end of the day, may not be a big problem for Law and Kid. But Luffy, on the other hand, he's, because he is currently a Yonko, this is gonna make him one of the more wanted men in the world. And there are gonna be many pirates who might come out of the woodwork to challenge him to find out what this new Yonko kind of has. Moving forward, Luffy is likely likely to be in constant fights with other pirates who are going to try and become a Yonko themselves. But we also know that at least up until now, Yonkos didn't fight much with other pirates because they tend to stay on their own islands, which are of course protected by their fleets. But currently, Luffy and the Straw Hats have no fixed location other than the Thousand Sunny, and they're constantly sailing in search of new challenges and of course their ultimate goal of finding the One Piece. But this also means that this quest to find the treasure is going to become even more fraught with danger. Also, with this band of pirates looking for the last poneglyph, which for right now, nobody knows where it is, it means that Luffy and friends are gonna be on the map and people are gonna see them. It's not like they'll just be able to go to somewhere and kind of lay low till it cools down. Just being out on the sea is gonna make him an easier target for, other people, because there are a lot of dangers you're exposed to out on the seas. For awakening his devil fruit, Luffy has now also become a major target for the world government. Now, the Gorosei know of some danger that now that this fruit has reawakened and Nika has come back to the world, it's likely that they could have Luffy captured or even killed so that they don't have, they don't let him bring his plan and therefore Joy Boy's plan to fruition. Luffy's crewmates also present their own kind of dangers and are powerful in their own rights. Just consider the fact that Nico Robin is the only one who can read the poneglyphs, and if she's captured by any pirate and she was willing to read Roan poneglyphs, it would be a whole other kind of race to the One Piece treasure. This is something the world government doesn't want, and the reason why they tried to kidnap her while the battle at Onigashima was going on. But so far it has been a failure, as CP0 wasn't able to capture her and make it off the island. But if they somehow managed to capture Robin, this would be a very different thing, because the Straw Hats would need her to read the poneglyphs. And if then a huge force of Marines were to come in and try and capture the Straw Hats, it might actually work. Shifting our conversation over to Buggy now, we also have to acknowledge we don't actually know what he's done over the last few years. Now, we know he has a large crew and some powerful pirates among them, but we don't know anything else that Buggy might have done other than just kind of seeing him in that comic relief kind of style that we've always known Buggy for. Buggy's fame initially came about when he participated in the Battle of Marineford, and this raised his fame to a level where he could attract much more powerful companions. And he also is known to have been a part of Roger's crew, as well as a friend of Shanks, who is of course a Yonko. But of course, it was Luffy and his friends that ended up breaking Buggy and a lot of those other people out of Impel Down. So those pirates that didn't have anybody else to join just decided to go ahead and follow Buggy. And to be honest, we also don't know why he's so famous. I mean, we imagine that the Buggy crew and Buggy's delivery must have done something great after the last battle against their marine fleet, and maybe they, are getting credit for something that maybe they didn't do. There may also be a connection between Buggy's former allies and the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, because we do know that there were a few that had left their group to go ahead and join the crew that was going to be going out and supporting Luffy. So it might be that Buggy, or maybe some among his crew, had kind of started up a fight between them, and now that we've seen that Luffy's name and Luffy's crew is linked to a Yonko, it's gonna kind of escalate it even more. Still, even if Buggy's crew had defeated and, done some deliveries or whatever, it really doesn't seem like it'd be the right level of fame for a Yonko. So we have to imagine that he must have either done something else really great these last few months since we've been in Wano, or maybe it's some kind of scheme. I mean, this is Buggy we're talking about. Just consider what Luffy and his crew just went through and he became a Yonko. They led a gigantic crew against an even larger group of powerful pirates. They saved Wano from Kaido and his crew, also defeated one of the most powerful creatures of all time, and this achievement was witnessed by the members of the Marines and Cypherpole. Furthermore, the Gorosei, who do lead the world government and the Marines, know that Luffy possesses this legendary fruit and has managed to awaken it. A fruit so feared that they, again, had the name of this fruit changed many hundreds of years ago. So it took all this for Luffy to become a Yonko. And now Buggy has gotten the same title? I mean, either it was something big, or we'll just have to see. Because Buggy's last revealed bounty was about 15 million, and had been frozen at that amount because he had been a warlord. But since the warlord system has been abolished, abolished and he's been raised to a Yonko level, he's gonna see a gigantic leap in his bounty level. Comparing the bounties of former and current Yonko, we know that their bounties are going to exceed at least 2 billion. And we saw this through Teach's actions. We also saw it when he decided to go after Whitebeard and his crew. And this basically he was able to do because he'd planned it out and then was able to leave without really being pursued. But prior to this, we really don't know if Teach had much of a bounty. I mean, he was a part of Whitebeard's crew, but the fact that he kind of showed up at the right time, faced and defeated the crowd of Whitebeard, and who had really been looking for Teach to seek revenge, it was only after these things that he became a Yonko. Luffy also already has a bounty of 1.5 billion and hasn't had his Yonko bump as well. So we gotta imagine that it's gonna at least exceed 2 million once the word gets out and he's really reassessed after everything that's happened in Wano. As we mentioned at the beginning, we don't get to see the rewards of the other Straw Hat Pirates, but we also can imagine that it's not gonna be just Luffy, but Sanji and Zoro could easily break 1 billion in their rewards. I mean, they are the Yonko's biggest allies, and you know, if we consider people like Katakuri, King, Queen, Jack, all of those people have bounties over 1 billion just like that. To add on to that, it was also revealed by Oda in an SBS that when a captain performs a great work or has some great achievement, the rewards go down to his crew members as well. And so just as the captain's bounty increases, so does his crew. And most of the members, you know, they didn't get new rewards after things like Dressrosa and Whole Cake because those events were a lot smaller and maybe not as world shifting. But many others on the crew, just by being part, could see a really big increase. Lastly, we've seen that the Wano arc hasn't quite wrapped up yet. Now, it has already been noted that the last arc and the last saga is about to begin. So at about the same time, Wano couldn't come to an end. So it may be that perhaps the next act of Wano will start the last arc of the manga. So this could indicate that maybe this enemy that's coming on to Wano, this, you know, mysterious unseen Admiral Green Bull, maybe this will lead us into the final events. If it doesn't involve our mysterious admiral, it could also be actions of the Gorosei, a possible return of Kaido or Big Mom for this just final test or final way to verify that Luffy is really Joy Boy. But however this all works out, this is going to lead us to the end of Wano and the beginning of the last saga of the manga. So friends, those are our leaks, and for now, I'd love to know what you think about it. What do you think the bounties are going to look like? And do you think that with Green Bull coming to Wano, what do you think he's going to be up to? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way to the very end. Comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, maybe give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.